Hi there, my name is Dari, and I want to welcome you to our posture workshop today. We have 5 sections in this workshop. The first is an overview of your spine and the range of motion of your spine. The second is on shoulder work. The third is on your pelvis, and the fourth is your feet. Then we'll come back together in a final session, and I will walk you through a 20-minute exercise routine that you can use to strengthen your posture muscles. So before we get started, let's talk about why posture is important and a healthy posture is worth working toward. Your skeleton has the job of holding you up against gravity throughout your entire life. Your muscular system helps keep those joints in the proper alignment. If you can train your body to stand in a healthy posture throughout the decades that you are facing, you will wear out in a much more correct way over time. Your skeleton and your joints and those little cushions that keep things from knocking will last longer, and you will feel better throughout your life. So let's get started with mobility of the spine. I'm going to be using this foam cushion. This is just a dense foam cushion. You can find these on Amazon or in exercise stores all over the place. If you don't have one of these, use a pillow, a throw pillow off the couch, or fold up a blanket or a towel so that you have something about this size. We're going to start out on the mat, and I'm going to start seated on my cushion. Crisscross your legs and sit up very, very tall. Put your hands out here on your knees. We're going to use those in just a minute. And I want you to inhale through your nose and feel yourself growing taller through the top of your head. Then exhale and feel yourself sink into that lazy, sloppy posture. Inhale, pull up and rise. Exhale, sink, let your shoulders flop and sit forward. I'm going to turn from the side so you can see me. Now, one of the reasons we have this cushion to sit on is to lift us up a little bit with our pelvis. Many people have restrictions in their hamstrings that keep them from being able to sit upright with a neutral pelvis. A lot of times you'll see this and your hip flexors are just screaming to hold you in place. If you have a cushion and you lift up, hopefully you can find a spot where you're on your sit bones, your pelvis is nice and neutral, and your hip flexors get a break. Hands on your knees. This time as we inhale, we're going to stretch even taller. As you exhale, instead of just slumping, I want you to round clear back behind your sit bones. Feel a stretch in your upper back as you're holding onto your knees and letting those scapula spread away from your spine. Then inhale and sit up tall. Pull your shoulders down and back. Feel your sternum open and wide. Exhale, round back. Inhale, sit up. Now change your legs. Whatever leg you have in front, switch it to the back. Exhale, roll back. Inhale, rise up long and straight, shoulders down and back. Let's do it one more time. Exhale and inhale up. Now stay nice and tall. This is your neutral spine where you're sitting here. As we rocked back, that was flexion. As we lift up tall, we're returning to neutral. So that is one action of your spine, flexion and extension. In extension, which we didn't do, but I'll show for use just for education's sake. Extension would be going the other direction, clear into a back bend. But for our purposes, we're just going to find neutral. Now let's go ahead and do side bending. So your spine flexes, extends, it also side bends. So reach long with your arms and replace your fingertips to the floor. And we're just making these little rainbow movements back and forth, back and forth. Let's take our eyes with it. So as you go over, look at the hand on the floor. eyes back to me, and then look at the hand on the other side. Reach your arms really long as you go through. And now I'm going to ask you to make a little assessment of yourself. Freeze right here. As you're in this side bend, do you feel this hip coming up? If it's coming up, you're going too far. So make sure both sit bones are anchored and that they stay there grounded as you go from side to side. You'll feel this stretching in the space between your hip bones and your bottom rib. You want to feel that open, and then the other side opens. Good. Reach your hands out long and bring your fingers to your shoulders, sitting very tall. We're going to twist, 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 and switch. Twist, twist, twist. Now, pay attention to what is happening in your legs and in your pelvis. Let's go ahead and switch legs. Put the other leg front. This way, this side might feel a little funny. Twist, twist. Can you feel that rocking in your pelvis? That's supposed to be there. That's what happens when we walk or run. You have a little bit of movement in your pelvis. But for today's exercise, I want you to hold your pelvis still. So hold it still. What I like to do is I think of my right hip coming forward as I turn to the right, and then my left hip coming forward as I go to the left. And that seems to help counterbalance my rotation. So there you go. Let's get rid of the mat, the pad. Come onto all fours. Spread your fingers really wide. Big, wide high five. Point your pointer finger or your middle finger straight forward in front of you. So you have a really wide grip on the mat. We're going to do those same motions that we did seated now in this tabletop position. So inhale, lengthen, and this time we will extend. Keep your shoulders down so your neck remains long. And then exhale, drop your tailbone and your head and lift your rib cage. So we have extension, where we arch our back, drop your belly button to the floor, keep the back of your neck long, don't kink it, keep it long. And then we have flexion, where we make it round. Now let's straighten our spine out and see what we hope is neutral, and we're going to wag side to side. So this is side bending, side to side, side to side. Let's do one more each way, side. Good, and now come back to neutral. Lift one arm and twist open to the ceiling, twist, and then thread that arm through and reach. Twist high, thread low. Let your eyes follow that moving hand. So your neck, your head is part of your spine. So let your head and neck follow the twisting motion. Last one. And let's switch sides. So second hand, reach and thread. Reach and thread. And reach and thread. And reach and thread. Perfect. Okay, so now let's talk about why we did all of that. To understand how your body needs to be stacked up straight, like a Jenga tower, those wooden blocks, and not fall over, it requires that you understand how your spine moves and how your pelvis and your rib cage and shoulders are connected to each other through your spine. So you felt as we did those different motions, your shoulders would move, your pelvis would move, all by just moving our spine. So as we travel through these next sessions, we'll add on to that and kind of dig in a little deeper into how those relationships are important to your posture. So thank you for joining me for session 1, and we'll move on to session 2, talking about shoulders. See you soon.